Hey, welcome back, family. This is Camielle Janae, and welcome to my channel. Before we get started, I want you to make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so that you can get notifications on any future videos. So today I have another guest. I'm excited because y'all might see this guest a few times on here, so just be ready. But before I introduce this person, we gonna be going on a trip today. This me and my guest going on a trip. That's good. Hey. Yeah. Now we just switch out. But anyways, my brother Byron is my guest. And today we're going to talk about something that's very popular. We see it all the time, social media, whatever. And it's traveling. Everybody wants to go to a new place, especially overseas lately. Yeah. And so along with that, I've been thinking about how it's popular, but we have to keep in mind being Black especially, or, being young, traveling alone, it's not always safe. And so my brother, Byron, he's been to a few places overseas. I haven't been out the country yet, the power of yet, because I will. But I want to talk to him about what goes into those plans. Yeah. He decides to go wherever he goes. He can talk about some of the places he's been, but just give us some tips. Like, what should we do if we want to do it the right way? We want to go there and make it back. Of course, things happen. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, he goes on his trips and things, and it looks real fun. And the fact that he's done it, and I'm still thinking about it, because as the older sister, I'm just like, I just want to make sure he okay. What is he doing? He don't know those people. Like, I'm thinking all these things. He's just like, oh, yeah, I'm going this time for a week. And I'm like, what? You stay your butt at home. But and he's grown, but still, it's just that older sister. But anyway, so yeah, let's talk about it. Specifically, like how to stay safe, what you do to plan, and because you like to travel alone sometimes. Yeah. Like lately, he's been going on these trips alone, like for his birthday and things. So go ahead, let's talk about it.
So number one, I would say, is to research wherever you're going. Research it almost like you doing like actual homework. Like if you know where you want to go ahead of time, maybe 3-4 months out, spend all your free time when you have some really looking up where you're going, the people. If you're a Black traveler, make sure that you're going to a place that's safe for us, that you can go to and not feel out of place. But yeah, just do your research. Really look into it so that by the time you get there, you can like kind of move around like you're from there, so that you don't stick out like a sore thumb. You can kind of you already know what's going on. You can kind of peep out the scene and then just have a good time. So
that's good. Before you go on, so you said the word plan. Yeah. And that's big. Yeah. You said about 3-4 months at least.
Yeah. Especially if we talking about international. Because if you're doing an international trip, most of us, there might be a few people that can just do that on a whim, but most people, they're planning an international trip months out in advance.
Stacking money.
Mm-hmm. So in the time that you're doing that, stacking money and figuring out where you're going to stay, research that place, research the people, research the culture, so that by the time you go there, you're not, just winging it. Like you probably will have a much more seamless trip if you do it that way. So
you're planning how you gonna get there,
how I'm gonna get there,
how you gonna come back,
yeah,
where you gonna stay,
yeah,
things like that. And like how you said, like the people, because if they're not fond of Black people and you think you're about to have the best time ever,
you're wasting your time.
Especially if they speak a different language.
Yeah.
Or like, some people speak English. Yeah. And some don't. But if you need their help, they irritated before you even open your mouth.
That's what I'm saying. So if you a person who's if you're not comfortable with at least learning the basis of another language and you trying to go to Italy for a week and you don't want to learn Italian, I would just say leave Italy alone until you learn that, because that could be unsafe for you if you don't know that language.
He said leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone until you know it, because it will be the same thing. People don't like when, I feel like American people have that thing where they would, like, if somebody comes here for a trip but they don't know the language, are we as really as lenient with that?
Right.
Not a lot of people, they really aren't. So it's the same thing in other countries. They want you to at least make an effort to know the culture and the language before you go. So
it really depends on the people. Like me, if somebody needs some help, but not everybody's like us or whatever. That's just, how we were raised. I would like to think. You just try to help them out. You try to give them a sign. Yeah. Signs are very helpful because colors and stuff are universal.
Yeah.
But you're right. Other people be getting impatient.
Yeah, they don't have
and
time.
And you be feeling slow.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, Allah. Be
yeah,
like, what?
No,
you
already going wrong. Yeah. Allah. That don't sound nothing like what I
gonna
like.
keep walking.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so plan a trip months out.
Yeah.
And get familiar with the area and the people that you're,
or
the place you're trying
exactly,
to go. Okay. What would you say, like, is another big, important thing to keep in mind when planning trips like this?
When you go, make sure to share your location with, if you're with people, share it with them and share it with somebody that's back home where you're at. Mm-hmm. Always do that because you never know what could happen, and it's like a pretty big deal if something were to happen and you're in an international country. People back home don't really know what, if they don't know where you're at, they don't know what you're doing. Like, it would help if you gave them your location so that.
So we're in a world of tech. So I just want to make sure I verify what you're saying. You say share your location. Are you talking about on your phone? Or are you saying tell people exactly where you're going?
Both. So tell them where you're going to be at, and then also you can share, like actually share your location with them.
Okay.
I would even say like with Uber, if the country that you're going to has like Uber, Lyft, usually they have like a share your ride location with a person, so you can do that to be even more safe. But
I love that, especially for women that travel alone or just like with another woman, just y'all two, because unfortunately we've seen situations where people be in an Uber or something and they don't realize because they're in the height of it all that they're not going to the location they're supposed to be going to.
Right.
And and that's very unfortunate, things like that. But that's what I'm saying, we're doing these videos so we can try to help people move smarter.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yep.
So you said share your location with people. Like for you, like I said, sometimes you go on your birthday and you tell me like, okay, that week I'm going to be gone for, this many days. And I always ask you, what day are you leaving?
Yeah.
What day are you coming back?
Yep.
Like that's huge.
Yeah.
And I like, that we were kind of talking about this before, how you like to post a lot of pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to see background. I need to see street addresses. Yeah. I need to see. I'm not really caring about him having a good time. I want to see the information around.
Yeah, it serves two purposes. It's like, one is like, okay, this is just me showing what I'm up to. So,
Yeah.
And then also it's like, if anything were to happen, you at least have a trail of, okay, this is where he was, so you can figure it out. But
that's good.
Yeah, please, if you have social media, like even you don't have to share everything, but just post where you at so that people who have you on social media, they know they can feel like, okay, he's safe. I don't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But I would say even for people who are not big on social media, they could share pictures or always check in, calling their people. Be like, hey, I just made it here.
Yeah.
Or I just left the airport, about to go to my hotel, things like that. Because y'all don't act like we didn't see the movie. We saw Taken. We saw the movie. We saw Missing.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
All of those, yeah.
It happens. They're not coming up with these concepts from out of nowhere. And so we want our people to be safe, our family members to be safe. You don't want a good trip turn bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so plan it out months on end. Share your location. Let people know where you're going.
Yeah.
What else would you say is huge?
If you can, get traveler's insurance.
Okay, talk about that.
If you get hurt out of the country and you don't have traveler's insurance, that could cost like triple, not even, I wouldn't say triple, like it could cost you like $10,000 because they have to transport you to where they can take care of you. So if let's say you in Brazil, you get hurt. If you don't have insurance for hospitals in that system, they're going to have to transport you back to America so then you can go to the hospital. So not only you hurt, but then you broke. I know you broke because you don't got $10,000 to just be giving out. So I know I don't.
Now, is that a long process or?
It can be. That's why if it's best to just get the traveler's insurance, because if you're covered, they can take care of you there. And it's like, okay, maybe it might be fully covered. You might have to pay like a small copay as opposed to getting flown back to the United States.
You're doing this through your insurance that you have here.
You can do it through, it's a couple options. You could do it through your insurance. You could do it through, like when you book a trip, a lot of times it'll be like, you can bundle it where it's like, do you want insurance to cover this?
Book a trip with flight.
But with flights
Okay.
or even sometimes I've even heard people say like when they book it through resorts or hotels, like they'll have that option. So you can look things up. But yeah, definitely I would say if you have the money to do so, get travel insurance if you're going somewhere.
See,
far.
I'm learning some stuff. So would you say it's a time limit? Like if you're gonna go somewhere for just a day or a couple of days, I don't think you should be going overseas for just a day, maybe, but unless you're going for one reason.
Yeah.
But you're saying like if you're going for a week, for sure, get that insurance.
For a week, for sure, especially if you're doing like activities that are physical. Like when I just went to Belize, I was doing some hiking, I did some snorkeling, so that kind of, if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff, for sure. If you're just going to Miami for a day or two to like go to the beach and stuff, you probably you could, but you don't really have to.
Okay.
It's more so international, and if you're doing a lot of different activities. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Stuff that you got to sign those waivers.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, we not liable for you if you get bit or stung or whatever. So.
Yeah, when I saw him on this last trip, I said, "We don't do that. What are you doing? Get your butt out that water."
Yeah.
He was holding, what animal was it?
I had a iguana. Yeah.
It was a big old green iguana. I said, "Go wash your hands." He was like, "I did already." I was cracking up, but no, I'm like I said, I'm glad he was having a great time. Would there be any other, like you could say one more last thing that you just keep in mind? And again, we're really emphasizing when you're traveling by yourself, or maybe it's just you and one other friend's place you've never been to, overseas, international. Just like, what would you do? Or would you say those are like your top three?
Those are my top three. I would say another thing would be to, beforehand, try to see if you can reach out to people who are already from that area that you're going to. Say maybe like on social media or even like Reddit, like they have groups where there's people who live in that area, and you could be like, hey, I'm going to be here this time. Maybe we could meet up for, some food or whatever in a public place so that it's not like nothing scary, but just so that you have that extra cushion of being like, I'm around people that are from here so they know how things go. So it's a little safer that way. Yeah.
And I would say coming from someone like me, like, or people who don't really trust all the time, people over the internet, because you can put whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you know somebody from there that you're familiar with already, you talked about a site like Reddit, but I mean like you went to school with someone who is from there, and they can suggest areas to you, or they can say, yeah, and my aunt still lives there, or blah, blah, blah. It's just always good.
Yeah.
But if you have some type of background with that person, I would say that's even better than using like a site and things like that.
Anybody who you have a connection to them and they're from a place where you're going to travel, that would be a perfect person to hit up. It doesn't even have to be international. It could be a city that you're going to. You could be going to, I don't know, Detroit, or going to Boston, or going to LA. If you have somebody that's from there, getting in touch with them will probably save you money, because they will point you to, good food spots that aren't super expensive. They'll probably tell you how to get around in the cheapest way, so it's not, so it could save you money by knowing somebody from that place.
Use your resources.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, be smart about it. Come on.
Yeah.
This is the bomb. Like I said, I'm excited. I haven't even gotten my passport yet, because there's so many places in the U.S. still that I want to go to, and I've been to a good amount of places. With my husband and things, but still, I'm just excited. I'm like, I want to try it one time, be on that plane that long and everything. Oh my gosh. But I really like the tips that you gave, especially the last one. I would have never thought about that.
Yeah.
And so go over them again. You said the first thing is to plan ahead of time.
Plan, research.
How you go, how you coming back, where you going.
Yeah.
What the people are like.
Yeah. Share your location.
Get that money up. Don't just have enough money to go. Please don't do that.
It's a lot of y'all that stopped being friends because you went to Miami with $300 and you thought that was going to suffice. That's not enough. I'm telling you, I know people who did that. They went to Houston, Miami, Atlanta. I got $200. You sweating the whole time you there because you don't got enough money.
When people go out to dinner, a really nice spot, blah, 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 you could spend $100 that night. And so, yeah. You don't have enough money to go if you only have enough money to go. Yeah. Rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so plan ahead. The second thing, share your location. Share where you're going with people that you love and trust. Yeah. That's big. The third one, you said get that traveler's insurance.
If you got the money to do so, please get traveler's insurance, especially if you're going international and you're doing anything activity based where you're going to be doing a lot of you're going skiing or you're going in the water or you're doing anything like that, just do it because anything can happen.
Can you give us some type of range of how much that could be?
It could be anywhere from like maybe a couple $100 to maybe like $1,000. It could be more if you want, but for what the kind of trip that I have in my mind that I will be doing is probably somewhere in that range. So
okay,
yeah.
And then the very last thing you said, if you had to add one, it was what again?
It was I'm forgetting my tips already. So it was, I said share location, I said travels insurance, and then what was the last one that I said?
Oh, if you know somebody
yes
from the area,
yeah,
or if going on a site and you can see people from the area, possibly to meet up with them, be able to get more familiar, even more.
Yeah.
They know the spots, not just the spots that are popular for tourists,
yeah,
but the actual good spots.
Yeah.
Because they're from there.
Yeah. I can't tell you on the trip that I just came back from, I saved money by ended up meeting this local cabbie person that took me somewhere, and then they ended up saving me money by just telling me,
wow,
different stuff to do, and don't go for this, like pay for that because it's a better deal and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I saved money by knowing that, and that's just one person. Like if you know a group of people from a place, go invite them out to dinner, or have them have a conversation with you about, okay, when I go to this place, how should I go about doing this? What's the good food spots? How do I get around? Is there public transportation or not? They'll give you everything you need to know so that by the time you get there, not only will you be probably saving money, but you'll be moving around like you're from there, which is important because anytime that there's like somebody says that they had gotten robbed or something happened to them, it's usually because they look like a tourist. You walking around with your headphones on, looking at your phone with your luggage, not paying attention to where you're going. You're asking, you look goofy. You looking like you don't know where you're going. It's just
that's everyday college.
Yeah. You looking like, oh, he can be robbed. So just don't do that. Instead, do your due diligence before you go. So that way, by the time you get there, you just moving around. You look like you're supposed to be there. So.
I'm not gonna lie. I always get nervous when they say that, look like a tourist. I'm like, because I am. I'm taking pictures of the simple things. Yeah. But I get it. Just be wise. Yeah. Be aware of what's going on around you. And y'all, this is not to scare you from traveling. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we have some apprehensions and things, but this is to be safe. Yeah. Better be safe than sorry. So lastly, we're going to end on the fun note. What's a few places like you just loved that you went?
So where I just left, Belize, very good for Black travelers, by the way. I'll say if you're Black, please go. Look it up, do some research. Even ask me, I'll tell you it's a good place to go. Okay. Mexico City is very fun, very good food, very cheap too. Like you get a lot out of your dollar when you do Mexico City.
Okay, like that.
And then I would say Montreal. That's a good one. Now that one, learn a little bit of French just because they speak both French and English there, but learn a little bit just to be able to get around, see the signs, and to order stuff. But very fun city. Really cool. Really cool city. It's a different vibe. It's like European type city, but it's in North America. It's got a nice little mix. And then, those are probably my top ones so far.
Top 3.
And I'm like, just keep on traveling and trying to find new places to go.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you for coming on to my channel, y'all. I hope this was helpful to you. It was very helpful to me. We did not discuss all this beforehand. Like I said, I just be praying, Lord, bring them back. But we still got to use wisdom and things. So if you are planning a trip, especially by yourself and things, I hope you can take these tips to help you with your trip. Thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe again to my channel for future videos.